And we are back. It seems like only a few days since we've been on the air together. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Nick. Yes, it is only a few days and we're back again, but we are live and let loose. I
I
like that.
love.
Live and let loose
We
with
are
some
let loose of you.
exciting news.
Yes.
It's I've got to share this because we have been talking about it a lot uh, during the Monday show as well. We reached 1,000 followers on TikTok yesterday. So thank you everybody for following SPTV, and thank you to Richard and the other hosts that have been promoting SPTV. I've only got about 26 followers, so I'm not very good, am I? But never mind.
It comes. Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes. Very
yes.
true. We are reminded, of course, as Richard has just been downloading to us, that there was a competition running. Anyone who subscribes to our TikTok account can win a free reading. You've got until Monday to keep adding on to those numbers and get yourself in with a chance of winning a free reading from any of the SPTV hosts that are available to do for a private one-to-one, which is awesome. It's a wonderful gift as a
Absolutely.
thank you. And it means,
Yeah.
of course, now that Richard's got to do some digging research and find a way of getting our system to link into TikTok, and we can stream the shows live as well on TikTok. So it won't be just we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Please do not swear. It'll be we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, and the
Well,
website and the app.
we we marched, didn't we? We marched our way to TikTok, so that's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And yes, a really, really big shout out to Claire. Claire Pasterfield is our TikTok guru, I think it's fair to
Yes.
say. And she has been very, very, very instrumental in reaching that number. So well done, Claire. Good work. And thank you to everyone for following on TikTok. Watch this space. We will be bringing news of when, because it's not a case of if now, it's when we will
Then
start streaming the shows on TikTok too. TikTok too. TikTok too.
and also, I'm going to have to get those lessons from Natalie Walker, if you're listening, on all the do's and don'ts and wherefores on TikTok, because she's a little bit of a guru on TikTok. Is our Natalie? She's on Clara's show, and she's also done demonstrations in her own right on here, and so she knows quite a bit about TikTok. So she's going to give me and possibly Neil and Clara a lesson on what to do on TikTok. So
Fantastic.
then we'll know. Then I'll know what I'm doing.
Absolutely. You know what? We were actually ironically talking about this after the Monday show, weren't we? And it really is a good segue into some kind of topic. Um, excuse me. It is really some kind of segue into some kind of topic. We were talking after the show on Monday regarding how you can fall into this negative cycle on social media, especially on something like TikTok because of the algorithm, and how to get yourself out of it. Because it can come across, if you fall into one of these negative moments, that that's all there is. And I
Yeah.
do feel a spiritual theme coming on. Um, and I was just saying, well, no, because what you have to do because of the algorithm, if you watch something, the algorithm just assumes you want to see stuff like that. So if you
Yes.
get angry about a video and have it on repeat because you can't believe what you're hearing, and it will start showing you more of the same. So what I had to do to get myself out of a negative TikTok zone was to just continually on loop watch pictures of laughing bunnies and singing bunnies and men dancing with water for some reason. Um, and that is if you suddenly start seeing more of the same of certain different types of video, then that's the algorithm saying you must like it. I'll show you more. And I'm sure that there are many people who are thinking of the same thing as Richard. But no, not at all. Don't. Um, so the thing is, if you do get stuck in a loop of negativity, you have got to go and look at these positive things that you do enjoy and
Absolutely.
quite like that we've just been mentioning. Bunnies is
Yes.
just one, cats
Well,
is another.
well, do you know what, Nick? You've just given me a bit of an idea. I took some rather lovely pictures of my dog Oscar yesterday. So perhaps I ought to do pictures of Oscar, and perhaps he might be a TikTok phenomenon.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, one of the things that you see on like Instagram and Twitter, if you look at animals at all, like I do, because I love my bunnies, you will see videos of a dog coming up and sniffing the camera,
Yeah,
and the caption says, "I've only got 28 followers. Help me!" And you'll click on the profile, and they're
yeah.
they're up to 200,000 because
That's that's a good
people love
idea.
animals.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And also, I love watching the little because Oscar's a Dachshund cross, and I love watching the Dachshunds where they put they make them talk, and they say, "But I want some cheese, Mum. I want a treat." And that just always cracks me
Absolutely.
up. It's like a child
Absolutely.
asking for sweets, But I want a treat, Mum.
Yeah. And this is the thing. It even though it's technology and it's a modern thing, it does follow a psychological footing that's very appropriate to those in this way of life, in the sense that when you find yourself in darkness, all around all you feel is darkness. The way to get you out of that darkness is to shine a little light on it. And
Oh, I like that.
that's exactly how the algorithm works. If you go and bathe in things that are uplifting and fun, more keeps coming your way.
Oh, I like the way we got you got that philosophy there. I love that. It's a really good topic. Nick. Well done. I love that. I love that sort of thing where you can go from a normal topic about technology, which is probably as far away from philosophy and spirituality, and then all of a sudden you linked it together. Absolutely fabulous. Okay.
It was them, not
Oh,
me. I tell
right.
people on off in circle for saying that all the time, but it is true. Terry Louise, I certainly will send you the link of the water one. Um, you can have it too if you want, Karen. Um,
Oh, thank you.
and good morning to Sarah McGeechy as well. Welcome along. Hi, Dol. Hope you're still recovering well from Sunday.
Uh, Marie Coonan, hello from Adelaide, South Australia. Well, hello to you. It's lovely to have you with us this morning or this evening. So, and good morning to Shelley Monk
All the
from
way from
España.
España.
Lovely.
We're up.
Hola, hola.
I wish it was a sunny here. Mary Brown, morning. Nick from Swaffham. Hello, I know who you are by now, darling. It's okie dokie. Hi, Mary.
Oh, I've been to Swaffham. I've been to Swaffham. Hello, Terry. Good morning to you as well. Nice to see you on here.
If you've been to
Also,
Swaffham, that means all you got to do is unwind your window and spit in my direction. It'd probably hit me. It's not that far away.
I went to a place called West Lexham, Nick, which is not far from
Oh,
Swaffham.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know it. I know it. And
Yeah.
Leslie Lang has joined us as well.
Hello, Lisa Holland Bowles. Greetings from San Francisco. Oh, how wonderful! I've been there as well. I didn't leave my heart there.
From Paris to Berlin, from Swaffham to San Francisco.
Francisco.
Good morning to Elizabeth Jones, all the way from South Wales.
Yep. Gosh, it's all the places that I've been this morning. It's wonderful. Good morning, Elaine Milton. Lovely to see you.
And Beverly French, good morning to you. We're all right. Hope you are too.
Hello, Linda Hopkins, all the way from Essex.
That's another hop, skip, and a jump down south from me. And
I know.
Michelle Lichtenfels Orm, Grand Rising from the USA. Good morning, darling.
Absolutely. Hello, Victoria Witcher. Oh, morning all. She says, nice haircut. Oh, there's my friend Hazel Cooling. Hello, Hazel. Lovely to see you.
Hi, Hazel. Welcome along. And yeah, it's wonderful to see so many different areas, isn't it? Like Mark Binns, all the way from Gainsborough. Good morning.
That's not far from me.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yes,
Not that far. Not that far. Down the A46, I think you can turn on.
absolutely.
Sam B. Oh, look at that cute dog. You
Oh,
see, I all these cute dogs. They're so lovely. Townsville, Queensland. Lovely. Lovely to see you, Sam.
yes, and a very good point there from Sam. We haven't said it today.
No, we
Like and
haven't.
share, like and share. Yes, we've talked about following on TikTok, but let's not abandon our Facebook and YouTube numbers. Please
Yes.
remember to share. It really, really does help.
And
And
I have these today.
you do.
I have these today.
We
My
see. We
little
do this.
heart-shaped cards. So like and share, and you'll get some nice readings.
And Angela Dodd joins us all the way from Manchester, the
Lovely.
spiritual birthplace of spiritualism in the United Kingdom, of course.
Mm,
You,
I don't know.
yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, Richard, as ever, is in the background, keeping us safe and sound and keeping us going forward. But yes, Emma Hardinge Britton started things off in Manchester.
Oh, of course,
Uh,
she was originally from there, wasn't she?
yes. So yes, the times have changed, and we've kind of followed suit with the way things tend to gravitate in the United Kingdom. But spiritualism was once described as the northern religion. Um,
Well, I can sort of understand that
Power of
to
the
a
people,
degree.
my love, is power of the people.
They're not. Somebody just asked what the cards was. They're not love cards, but they are guardian angel cards with words. You know, I love a word card. I'm not big into the pictures, but I like a word card. So they've got sort of words, which random word. They've got a little passage, but they've got a word at the top, which I'm going to
Yeah.
be using today. So, but they're quite nice. And sometimes what I do, I use them in my workshops. So everybody gets a card, and they can photograph it and take it home to keep. And it's quite interesting how that card sums up their day. So
Yes,
I love it. I love it when things like that happen. So
definitely.
that's why I use them most of the time. But I just
Uh,
got them out of my box today, so I thought, yeah, we're gonna have them. Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna have those today. So there you
Excellent
go.
stuff. Excellent stuff. So, if you are one of these people who in life has been feeling like they're stuck in a negative TikTok algorithm, time to find some light in your life. We are going to chat, we're going to give messages. We've got the healing moment coming up a little bit later on. Karen's got her cards. I've got my friends behind me ready. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful morning together. So let's
It is.
shift the paradigm, shake up the algorithm, and bring some love and light into our world as, let's face it, Karen and Nick are let loose.
I know, and anything can happen in the next 2 hours.
Absolutely. Good morning, Spirit of Love.
Oh,
Who's
lovely. Oh, look,
saying hello?
hearts.
Love that. I do love that
Hearts.
picture. And Chrissy Wheatley is with us. And this is the thing. I'm loving the fact that everyone's now saying hello to each other in the comments. We
Exactly.
Because we've got it on auto run to just see who's about so that we can
We
kind of
have.
link
That's really
in.
nice because I like to, I don't know about, I know you do, but I like to look back on on the chat to see
Yeah,
what's been said between the group, after the show's over, because I like that. I think it's nice and I love the community that we've got here. So if you've got any questions you want to ask us this morning or anything you want to bring to the table, then, put it in the chat and you know, we'll answer your questions. We'll chew the fat, so to speak, about life, about love, about all sorts of things. So we'll see Beverly French. We'll see if uh, we'll see if we can bring your loved ones through. But it's interesting going back to the technology. do you think, Nick, this is a question after Monday that I wanted to ask you. I know there has in the past there have been there's been ways where the spirit world have used technology to interact with us. And there's been things through like the skull experiments. There was some stuff with that with this Italian gentleman that used to receive messages through his radio and all sorts of things like that. Have you known of any recent stuff that's come through using technology that way?
Yes, in actual fact, it happens more than we think and more than we realize, and it's only when certain individuals, certain locations, where it becomes massively publicized, does it become a thing. And although there are those individuals, Spirit have been using technology for centuries. Because if you think about it, that when there was no such thing as TV or radio, the only method of communicating ideas and thoughts were books.
Yes.
Um, and obviously going before telegraph too. Um, I remember the telegram. I received a telegram once. But the thing is, Spirit will always make use of any communicative device. And in actual
Mm.
fact, I was talking to someone the other day, and I apologize. I can't remember who it was or where it was because I've just had such an excitingly busy week, which is great. They were talking about how, and it was either in one of the workshops or one of the circles, they was talking about how their mobile phone was laying somewhere,
Mhm.
switched off, and suddenly a voice came through it and said hello.
Yeah.
And I can't remember where I heard that from, so I can't give credit to whoever it was. It's in the last 5 days, I know it. And they literally said that their phone was off, and then suddenly this voice said hello from this mobile phone as though it was still on. Um, but if you think about the way we make use of technology and former technology, for example, turning the radio on for a
Yeah.
song, opening a book for a message, Spirit are far more advanced in knowing how things work than we are. We look at this laptop. Perfect example. We always talk about how spirit are energy. Spirits see our true energy. Spirits see what is within us really on an energetic level. We come to this computer, we push a button, tap a few commands, and it comes on and we're connected.
Yeah.
What's running through it but energy? What's
Yeah.
running between it but energy and frequency and signal? So, of course,
Mm.
they can see this equipment different to what we can, and they can see how it has elements within it. Now, here's the thing: spirit can't overly influence us because of free will on an energetic level unless we invite, ask, require, request. A computer does not have free will. A light bulb does not have free will. A radio does not have free will. They would be able to manipulate that flow of
Yes.
energy because they are energy
Yeah.
without breaching the rules of free will. And so it's not going as far as saying a computer has a soul. It doesn't, but it will look very similar, but more like clay that they can manipulate and tweak and make that button, fire off, make that LED tweak up. And so it really is something that is very prevalent in our lives. And because we're going down the route of manipulation of energies when it comes to technology, they'll be able to influence it even more
Mm.
as we progress
Yeah.
technologically.
Well, in fact, the other day, a few days ago, I was, it was a group of us talking, and Clara, one of our hosts, was one of them, and we were sitting having a chat on Messenger or Zoom, I can't remember which one, and Clara's iPad was next to her, but it was off, like you with the phone. And we were talking, and she was talking about someone from the spirit world. And all of a sudden, that iPad went, aha, as if they were agreeing with what we were talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. It really, really is amazing for us, but for them, it's literally just seeing a lump of clay that can be molded and shaped to do stuff. There are Eunice says absolutely, Nick. I had a something happen on my computer. Morning, Neil. By the way, good morning to you, my dear.
Yeah.
There are so many historically documented things, but that means there must be more in our daily lives. For instance, yourself, the person that was talking to me. Yes, there are certain people who talk about technologies that have been already invented and being kept in vaults somewhere of like a TV that can play the past and stuff like that. I'm only interested, believe it or not. Sounds like a really, really weird thing for a spiritualist to say, come to think of it, but it shows the power of spirit. I'm only interested in things that I can see and verify myself.
Yes. Well,
It's
I'm similar to you. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't jump on the bandwagon, you know, which is quite easy to do.
mm,
I don't do that. I think about it. And sometimes with me, those things have happened very unexpectedly when I've least expected it.
yeah,
And that's when I can verify it. I've had light bulbs go on and off in the house. Um, and again, it was just when I found out that somebody passed over, and I think, well, you know, he'd been through a tough time, and we were just talking about him, and we just said, well, at least he's out of pain, and we hope he arrives safely. I never used the main light in my house. I always used lamps, and and when you clicked the main light on, it used to click. It was a dimmer switch, and you'd click it on, and then all of a sudden the light came on and it flashed, and then it went off. And there was myself, my mum, a good few years back when my mum was alive, and my ex-husband, and we were in the room together. And my ex-husband is an electrician, and he couldn't believe it. He said that light must have come on, and he went over and he checked it, and he said, no, it's off. So, and I just went, oh, it's just Chris, just letting us know that he's all right. And he just looked at me, my ex-husband, and I went, no, that sometimes happens. And he
yeah,
just went, oh, you know, but I never get worried about things like that because normally it comes on to verify, to support, to help. And that's the time that I've always had it when I've asked for help, when I've asked for guidance, something's happened, synchronicity happens. But
yeah,
like you, it's good to get it verified and not jump on the bandwagon thinking that
absolutely,
everything is spirit because it isn't. You know, there's things that are just by fluke, just things that do happen. But there are times when spirit are there. So
absolutely.
it's just knowing the difference, I think.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's almost like Sherlock Holmes was invented with spiritualists in mind.
Yes. Well, Arthur Conan Doyle, who was a
Absolutely.
spiritualist, you know.
Absolutely. Just turn my
Um,
light on a little bit. The words, once you have eliminated the probable, that which remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. And it's lovely to see everybody sharing their comments and their experiences too. There's been a
absolutely.
lot of people who are in the same mindset of us about all of these
Yeah.
synchronicities and some wonderful, wonderful experiences that everyone's been talking about.
I want. Can I just share a little story, Nick? And it goes back because we've had uh, Hydesville Day and everything last on Monday. This is a wonderful story that comes from the book written by Estelle Roberts, 50 Years a Medium. And she used to sit in circle with people like Catherine Swaffer, Maurice Barbanel. They all used to sit in her circle. And on this particular day, a lady came through, and she a young girl. That's it. A young girl came through, and she said, "Can you please get a message to my mum to let her know that I'm okay?" And because she's been really, really upset because this lady lost both her children to spirit, and she just wanted to make sure to let her mum know that all is well, that she'd met up with her brother. So she gave the circle her mother's address. So Maurice Barbanel, they wrote to this lady, but they didn't hear anything. And then my mind was trigged because you mentioned about telegrams. And then they sent a telegram to the address. And also Maurice Barbanel published this message from the daughter in Psychic News. And eventually the mum got in touch with Maurice Barbanel and Estelle Roberts, and she was invited to come to their circle. And she came to the circle, and both her children came through to speak to her, and she was absolutely overwhelmed. And she also had a private reading with Estelle Roberts and got more detail and more information. So that just goes to show how the spirit world can come through, give the address, please pass on the message to my mum that I'm all right. And they actually gave the address. You know, I'm not sure how many years later, but then the mum passed to spirit. She comes back to the circle to tell the circle that she's been reunited with her children. How wonderful is that?
Yeah,
And that was
absolutely.
sort of before, the technology that we've got today. But it just goes to show the intelligence of the spirit world, how wonderful it is. And there's lots
Absolutely.
of, it's such a wonderful book to read. It's Estelle Roberts, 50
Yeah,
Years a Medium. And she talks about all the experiences that she's had in her life through her journey into mediumship. And it wasn't she didn't have an easy life, bless her.
no,
She really didn't. But she kept going on. She kept carrying on regardless,
yes,
and trusting implicitly what the spirit world gave her. So,
absolutely. And you know what? This is I can feel someone building up behind me. So I think this is more from them than from me. But from based on my experience, I know exactly where this is going now. Um, in relation to that story, it is and everyone's loving it, and exactly they would and they should. This was what I was saying right at the beginning about stories being passed on and events and experiences getting notoriety, but it happens more often that because you and I both know that there would be somebody who would turn around and say, it's a shame things like that don't happen anymore.
oh yes,
But that would be an understatement of biblical proportions, and it would be an underestimation of the spirit world. The reason we know about this is because Estelle Roberts was a very noted medium, very famous medium. She did mix with Maurice Barbanel. She also had some time with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. In
yes,
actual fact, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle chaired the service for her in the Albert Hall. It was the last time he chaired. It was where he said those now famous words, carry on, take the word of spirit and the proof of continuity of life out into the world and never give an inch. Um, Sir Arthur, obviously very well known for his political and writing career, his involvement with kings, princes, and paupers,
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
very well noted. You've then got Maurice Barbanel, who was the printer and publisher and editor of one of the biggest
yeah,
impacts publicly on this way of life, to the extent that when I went down to Stansted Hall, to the to Clock Cottage, where they ran the psychic news from,
Yeah.
I sat behind Maurice Barbanel's desk because it
Oh,
was
wow.
still literally part of the
Yeah.
furniture. But
Yeah.
you see, we've got all of these revered people up on a pedestal because they were in a position where they could be heard, could make their voices heard, could be known, and share these stories. But that stuff still happens, and it does happen in town halls, in village halls, in churches, in community centres, in people's living rooms, even, these days in people's bedrooms behind a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of spirit to do exactly what Karen has just said. Because if we continually get stuck in that loop of putting people on a pedestal and saying they don't do things like that anymore, you're forgetting where the information is coming from. Stories like these are here to show you how to do it
Yes.
as an
Yes.
example. And everyone
Yes.
has the potential to be like that. And that would be
Absolutely.
straight from the mouths of the individuals involved, should they have been listening. But I do know that there is someone with me at the moment who is very, very much in that mindset of people behind the scenes doing the hard work all the time.
Hmm.
Because everything that I say when I'm building up is in connection to that personality, and I do know that we yes, we put a label on the individuals responsible for the earthly side, and quite rightly so, but there are oh, I know who I'm quoting now. There are thousands and thousands of spirit people helping along to be a part of that process. Um, be it a feather falling on the floor, be it the radio being on at the right time, be it those spirit entities helping a mother to give an address to her children. And so all of these people who work in the background are very much part of that process. This gentleman, as he steps forward, was very much like one of the behind the scenes, as he wasn't interested in being seen or thanked. He just wanted to help. He wanted to be part of the process. I know that his heart aches, and he's saying about symmetry, symmetry, symmetry. It feels emotional, but it also feels physical. It's literally like people would have said he died of a broken heart, because I know that there was so much heartache with this gentleman towards the end of his life. But he also did have a heart condition that you know exacerbated his passing to the spirit world. Shall we put it like that? Um, I know that he was someone who was. I can't actually feel it, but I can feel it, if you know what I mean. I can feel that lots of sweat on my forehead. I know he was a grafter. I can feel my hands getting stronger and stronger, so I know he would have been a real grafter, a hard worker. But I also know that there would have been a fever a fever running when he passed as well. Um, and as oh dear, bless your heart, Mister. It spread into his lungs as well because I can feel it all round here as well. And I know that his back was an absolute. His, thank you. That's a really nice way of putting it. My back was shredded, he said. My back was shredded. Because he literally never gave up and never stopped working and working and working. But again, he was always happy to be in the background. So if anyone can understand this fatherly figure that's stepping forward like that, I would have said that he would have been in his 50s, 60s when he's passed. I know that there's he's laughing at the fact that I'm receding there. He said, "Yeah, I did, but it grew a lot quicker." And he's talking about the loss rather than the gain type of growing. And I know that he had a very, very deep and strong voice, a very powerful voice. Um, So if anyone is able to, Sam B says it sounds like your dad. I nearly missed your comment because it come up face red heart shaped. For some reason YouTube's playing up with the emojis today. So oh, YouTube doesn't talk properly to the platform, so it's us, not you. You carry on with emojis. Um, I also feel like my head is in a vice, bless him. And Shelley Monk says, I can. My dad had no hair and had lung cancer. So both of you just listen for a second because I'm feeling these and Cheryl Koenig sounds like my dad. He was a bricklayer. Um, right, so this gentleman, I'm feeling something right here on his head. It's a pounding, so either it would have been an internal or a physical um, manifestation of something that he experienced towards the end of his life, and he's getting really, really grumpy with me. He says, I don't mind talking to you, but my word, lad, you're messy. He really does not like the untidiness of my desk. So I'm getting a bit of a lecture, and so he would have been the kind of person who liked things minimal, tidy, sorted. Fuzzy. I have to admit, Shelley Monk, you called out to me earlier on when was saying about wanting a message, and I did feel this same tugging in my chest as soon as you said that, actually, because I noticed you. You see, um, would you understand a bit about the head? Would you understand? The sweats, obviously no hair and had lung cancer, so that could be related. Certainly the sweating and everything could be related to any therapy that might have been given. But would you also understand this desire for things to be tidy and politely reminding people to keep things tidy? Because he's this kind of guy who's like, I'll tolerate it to a point even though it's eating me up inside. I'll be polite about it, but I really, really find this messy in here. And I'm like, oh, back off, back off, back off. But he would still be polite about it. And it's all about this working behind the scenes, working behind the scenes. So there are things that you would obviously feel comfortable sharing publicly. There are things that you would not, and he's more concerned with the things that you would not, and it's these things that he's working behind the scenes on, because there are similarities between what I started the conversation about, uh, 11 boom boom. He noticed stuff, so this kind of person who would work behind the background to make sure things were done properly and not worried about. You are very similar, and this relates to things going on in your life that you would not necessarily share publicly. um, um, Oh, bless it. He did everything my mum needed to do. He lost his voice. And that's why he wants to say about the booming voice, really powerful voice, because it's back now. He doesn't need a voice box to make himself heard. But if you can understand that, I'll be honest with you, I think I'm with Shelley. Thank you, everyone else, for commenting. But if you can understand that, Shelley, you would also understand that oh, okay, not yet. He says, we, and that does change the sound of the voice. Throat cancer does change the sound of the voice. So he would want you to know that he's got what he would call his proper voice back. Not that he needs a voice now, of course. He's in spirit, but it's that way of letting you know everything's fine. I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm dealing with things, up here. There's a few leaky clouds need dealing with up here. that kind of jokiness about the mechanics of the universe, because he was just so laid back about how things happen. I can't say what he just said to me, but he literally is the kind of person that would say life happens. You can substitute life for any other four-letter word that would be appropriate, but I'm opting to edit to the word life happens. And it's just a case of dealing with it, dealing with it, dealing with it. He really, really wants you to know that he is got your back in whatever it is that's going on. Um, he's talking about pills, potions, and lotions, and he's just saying, don't, whoever it is that's playing with these potions and lotions and mm, doesn't doesn't need it, doesn't need it, perfect enough without it. So I don't know whether either yourself or someone around you is, complaining the need to, uh, put an extra layer of something on and need to tidy this up and I've got to put that on there and all that needs putting on there and that he's no, don't need it. Less is more. Less is more. So, if that's for you, I'll say it's for you. If it's for someone, please pass it on. You don't need a telegram to do that anymore. But I will leave his love with you and say thank you for listening, Shelley.
Oh, that was lovely, Nick. That was lovely. It's nice when we know that the spirit are,
27 years.
yes. Oh, bless. It's, you know what, it's still painful. It still sometimes feels like yesterday and anniversaries, but we just be thankful and that they were in our lives and they love us and they are still here for us. And I think that's a strong message for everybody today out there. They never stop loving us and caring for us. Not much more.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what we got here?
Fail.
Okay, so yeah, can you? I've chosen a card, and it's entitled "Believe." So, Richard, can you do the numbers? Do you know how many we've got on? If I give you a number, can you find someone for me? All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. All right. What about 14? 1, 4, 14. So I'm going to choose a number. Ah, now I do know Natalie, but it was the number I chose. I've never given Natalie a reading before. She's given me one or two. So so I'm going to give you a reading, Natalie. I do know you, but I don't know everything about you. And the card, the guardian angel card I've got for you is believe. Um, and it says be open to all possibilities and opportunities. Let go of preconceived ideas. Now, I know what you do now. I know that you're a working medium. I know that you've been trained by Clara. I know that. But I just want to take you back, Natalie, to when you were younger. And I feel that sometimes you didn't always believe what people told you. And I want to say, when you were younger, you always could suss out if people were not completely being truthful with you. And I feel that you sometimes said to them, actually, that's not true. That's not right. And I feel that you've had your intuition and your gift when you were a youngster. And I feel that you always used to get feelings about people, even when you were young. And I feel that your mum was quite shocked about your intuition at a young age because you would say to her, well, I think this is going to happen. Or you'd sort of say, that person isn't who they say they are. And I feel you've always had that saying, an old head on young shoulders. And you've still got that today. But I feel that as you were in your teenage years going into your 20s, I want to say that your belief in this was sort of shaken a little bit, and you put that on hold because there was other issues going on within your life. And I feel that there was people around you that maybe tried to get you to believe in what they wanted you to believe in. And then all of a sudden, it's like you came out of, you were sort of cocooned, if you like, in a situation that was difficult to get out of. And I feel that you struggled during your late teens and early 20s as to what was true and what wasn't true. And I feel that there was a strong person around you at that time that sort of really influenced you, with somebody with a very controlling behavior. But then all of a sudden, I just feel you were almost in a, like a chrysalis, and then all of a sudden, you broke out of that chrysalis. And I think it was just one little thing. It was like one lie too many that you'd heard, and suddenly it was like you woke up from this coma, if you like, and you suddenly started to see things in a different way, and you got away from this situation, and you started to believe in yourself again. And then things changed, and you suddenly started to walk your own path and be your own person. And it's always what happens after the fact when we leave a situation. People come out the woodwork and they actually tell you things that were happening that you did not have any idea that was going on. And it was like, you said to yourself, why on earth was I so silly? Why did I let this happen? And it was like a little vow in your head, because you are a very strong person. People mistake the gentle nature that you have as weakness, but it certainly isn't. You've got this gentle underlying strength within you, and that feistiness within you comes out. And I feel that that feistiness came out when you were within that situation, and you suddenly broke away and you started to believe in yourself. You started to believe in life. You started to believe in possibilities and opportunities that came your way. And I just feel that you've got to keep believing and trusting in your ability with the spirit world and never be shaken again, because you are a wonderful medium, a wonderful ambassador for the spirit world. And I've only known you a short time, but it's just been wonderful to see that butterfly expand and flap the wings. And there's so many opportunities around you. But it says here, um, sometimes you have to be flexible. And I think we have to be flexible within our work, and we have to sort of take the ups and the downs and always have that open heart. I feel you've always had that, because you've never let the knocks of the ups and downs sort of allow your heart to harden. It's always been open. It's always open to friends, to the love that you give to your children is absolutely amazing. And you're a great mum, you're a great friend. And I just feel that you've just got to stay on the path that you're on, and all things are possible for you. But we don't worry about the past, because that past has made you who you are today. And don't you haven't stayed in it, you've learnt because of it. And that's the best way to do. So keep believing in yourself. And I just want you to play when you have little wobbles. Just keep that song, Believe. I believe. The Bachelors sang it originally, and then I think Robson and Jerome brought it out. But play that, and I think it would be a good song for you to listen to before you start to work. I believe, and it gives you that strength, that tenacity, that determination to keep going stronger and stronger, because you're a wonderful young woman. So thank you for working with me.
Absolutely brilliant. Amen, sister. Amen, sister. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
I
Oh
like
wow.
working with you. They're quite good.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a change of pace. It's a change
Yeah,
of way, and it really is quite fun.
good.
I've got a pack of cards coming. that I'm going to be using soon. Um,
Oh, we've all got cards coming, hopefully.
yeah. Um, another pack. But yeah,
Oh,
Natalie
another
says
pack.
thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Natalie says thank you so much, Karen. Spot on with everything.
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Fabulous, fabulous. I have a gentleman with me. Because it's Man's Day. It's Man's Day. Um, Wave your arms and hands day. Um, everyone's loving, I believe. By the way, I have got
Oh,
over on that shelf the Robson and Jerome
yeah.
version. You know,
Mm.
yes, and I don't mind admitting it neither. Um, uh, he's talking about Robson and Jerome, of this gentleman actually. Morning, Chris.
Morning,
Um,
Chris.
this gentleman that's with me, he's actually having a laugh about Robson and Jerome because he's reminding me, of course, that they were famous for Soldier Soldier,
Yes.
um, with your musket, fife, and drum. Um, so he's talking about the military connections, and there is this military connection with this gentleman. I've got to say, he would have worn a uniform. I don't know what, but the way he holds himself and the things that I'm feeling around him, I'm feeling this gentleness and softness of wonderful, very fine materials. He liked the finer things in life. It's almost like he was very regal, could have even been, tailored himself as a royal. You know, I know he was very well spoken, but he was also very softly joken. As he builds, sorry, as he builds up, I do know that he's got this uncle brother kind of feeling. I feel like this authority of an uncle, but the communication of a brotherly kind of relationship. So I know that the relationship would have evolved over time to have been very, very close. Um, as he steps forward even more, I'm also aware that his passing was quite sudden, and was something of a shock and a disappointment. Um, and he keeps coming back to this. It's he wants me to sit in the chair like this, almost like I'm being painted. So I know that he was a bit of a poser when it come to the family photos. Um, I just saw that comment. Soldier Soldier was like a comedy to those in the forces. Yes, I can well believe it. Um, this gentleman, he had a love of light colors and whiter colors and creams, and so I see him dressed like this. If anyone, I think I just saw someone say that seemed familiar to them. Um, so Lily Potts, I love that.
Gorgeous,
Hello,
isn't it?
hello, Lily Potts. Sounds
Hello,
like my
Lily Pots.
grandfather. He was in the army for 35 years, and I have a photo of him sitting that way. Would you understand the relationship that he had, the relationship with you, for example, grew, or if there was a grandson or a nephew that would have been very, very close to him? Interestingly enough, I'm just mesmerized by your name because I come from Little Port and we call it Lily Port. Well, some of us do anyway. We call it so. Lily Potts is talking to Lilyport right now. He loved words. He loved language. This was his way of relaxing. Was looking at the sim. Oh, don't give me that phrase. That's mine. Subtle symmetry of the universe, and loved wordplay, loved language. And you said that he was your grandfather, but I feel you had a different kind of relationship than just grandfather. Um, so if you could understand, it was more than that. It was a mutual, especially towards the end of his life. Interestingly enough, he's not overly keen on talking about the end of his life. He wants to talk about the time, well, military, of course, the time when he was in, and I've got to sit properly again. you know. And realistically, he's here just to give you a redirect. It's almost like he was the one you would go to for the redirects of life, the kind of person who would give you that support and strength, but encouragement. As much as he was a military man, as much as I do feel that militaristic side of him, I also know that he was a gentle soul and a nurturing soul. Um, and he never hid that about himself. Well done, you, mate. Oh, hello. Lily Potts, I just got told off by your grandfather for calling him mate. So he wouldn't obviously like that kind of term. Yes, very much so. I have an uncle who's in the army as well, and he was a jokester. Thank you. So there's that connection there. Thank you. There was something about, nephew, nephew, nephew. Um, and he speaks to you from the other side. Ah, wonderful. So this is once again that confirmation that we've been talking about, and how all of these street stand tall was a great teacher, brilliant. I feel with him very relieved. Thank you. Yes, of course. There was, when he first came through, there was a comment um, that Karen made about it was either a comment Karen made or it was a comment in the comments, but it was while Karen talking, and I kept getting this the word Jesus, and it's almost like I I always was a follower. I always did my bit in my own way. But when I got here, oh, it's so much better than I thought it would be. So I don't know whether he was always worried what was coming next, or whether he had slightly more discerning views about what happened in the afterlife. But he says it's so much better up here than I expected. And he was reminding me that I would not have been. Here comes the joking part, because I was thinking of the Genesis song. Um, I've been talking to Jesus all my life. Um, he says, I've heard, I listen, I've listened to your mind, and every time you see the word Jesus, you think Joshua. He says the song wouldn't go very well if you changed his name that badly. And it's like, what a really, really strange thing to think. But I do, thank you. Oh, I used to sit on his lap, and he would always call me his queen. Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
There's that regality. Lily Potts, Lily Potts, Lily Bet. There's that regality
mm,
again. Um,
mm,
but yeah, he's talking about his own personal views on matters of faith, and it was a very good man, sir. It always was a very personal um, understanding of faith for him. And he said, it's so much better here than I expected. It's even more than I could have dreamed. It's even more magical than I could have wondered. And he's just praising up all of those names from the past, both historical and more recent, that encourage people. Wow, hello. Encourage people to be nice to each other, because that's really, really what it's about. And the reason I said wow, hello, it suddenly got tremendously cold in here. And I'm not talking, oh, it's a little chilly, I'll throw another log on the fire. It's no, it's lock up the windows and doors, give me a blanket kind of cold. Um, and I feel that's once again part of his personality come through. There was a little bit of exaggeration and he would use his words and his language to joke about things like, oh no, it's not just throw another coal on the fire, it's give me a blanket and turn the heating up to full, because he just loved to take the mick and have a giggle and have a laugh. And he's saying, you don't want to worry, the sun's coming out now. Yes, my father studied to be a priest. He was also an army man, but my family created a church get together every Sunday in our home.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Wow. Ah,
We used to call ourselves the Protestant Biblical Inquiry Commission.
oh,
Oh,
I love that.
fantastic. Um, very much so, as good at exaggerating and making you laugh. Lily Potts, I have absolutely thoroughly um, enjoyed speaking with you, and especially with this gentleman. I do have to just say, um, as he's backing off, um, what was that? Okay. Um, tell him the answer is pink. Tell him the answer is pink. It's almost like somebody's either been asking a question or they might have had some kind of someone on the committee. So someone on the committee. Um, uh, like it's like a password. And this is his way of inferring a password. It's about letting people know that he's seen the answer. He says, tell him the answer is pink. There's someone still down here who needs to know that the answer is pink. I have no idea what that's about. Maybe it's one of his jokes, and that will keep you guessing for weeks on end. But he's just saying, tell him the answer is pink. And I will say, God bless you, Lily Potts, and thank you for listening.
Oh, wow. That was wonderful, Nick. I love the animation. It's almost like, that you can get the sense that they're really there and then that your voice changes and all sorts of things. You were getting very posh there, I have to say.
Well, the question is, yeah, the question we have to ask Richard is, did I drop my T's less or more? And then we'll find out if it really was translate. But no,
Absolutely.
I
Oh,
pronounced T's correctly as well, because
I thought you did. Yes, I thought you did. Well
Richard
done.
always
Well done.
notices stuff what like that. Oh, I knew that would wind him up. But Lily Potts, thank you so much for calling out, and God bless you. And I think now would be an excellent opportunity to go to our first break of the day with those magical words, Karen, that we carry throughout the week with us.
Roll of Richard.
She understands pink.
Help Spiritual Psychics TV grow our TikTok channel. Connect with us at SPTV UK. We're on a journey to reach our next milestone, and we need your help. Follow us today and support us going live. Imagine getting personalised readings, discovering your card of the day, and so much more. Don't miss out on the opportunity to explore new adventures with us. Follow, engage, and transform. Join our growing community at Spiritual Psychics TV with @SPTV UK on TikTok.
Introducing the SPTV app, your digital spiritual guide for an enlightening journey like no other. Immerse yourself in a world of audio and visual content crafted to inspire, educate, and entertain. Seek guidance with our card of the day, choosing up to 6 cards for personal insights. Enhance your daily life with our wellness section, featuring nutritious recipes, affirmations, and balanced living tips. Explore our spiritualism section for a deep understanding of the religion, its principles, and spiritual answers. Unravel the secrets of the clairs and broaden your spiritual horizon. Easily find local readers, therapists, centers, or churches with our comprehensive directory. Stay connected with live broadcasts, check our schedule, and get to know our insightful presenters. Delve into the meanings of angel numbers, crystals, and a comprehensive list of divination meanings. All of this and more, available for free on the SPTV app. Download now at sptv.uk/app and start your journey with your digital spiritual guide.
Tonight from 8 p.m, join us for our popular show, Live with Spirit, which offers the opportunity for different readers to demonstrate their mediumship or psychic abilities.
Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. UK time, join Jordan Richards for his insightful show featuring joint mediumship communication with guests. The show includes soulful development coaching. Don't miss it.
Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time as we welcome Paul Bannister for a captivating live interview and talk show, Spiritual Talk. Tune in for insightful discussions with special guests and live readings that promise to inspire and enlighten.
We are back. We are back. For those that wondered why I suddenly reacted as I did just before the commercial break, Lily Potts said she understood pink, which was, exciting for me.
Absolutely.
So do stay tuned. We are reminding everyone that you can still enter the competition. We are still able to take entries for the competition if you follow TikTok, which Richard has shared the link for, to get a free reading from one of the SPTV medium hosts. And that we will announce a winner on Monday, I believe.
Yes.
So you can still enter that competition by following us on TikTok at SPTV UK. Is the handle on pretty much everything, be it Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. So do continue to follow, keep pushing the numbers beyond the bounds of 1,000, and you've got until Monday to enter to get a reading from one of us, from any of the SPTV presenter hosts.
Yeah, because there's lots of us, and we all work in our own individual ways. So whoever you choose, it will be a wonderful reading. So that's something nice to look forward to. We've been having chats this morning. We've also been doing readings, and I'm just about to choose someone to get a nice guardian angel card readings. And they say they're loving messages from the spirit world. So I'm just going to do my own interpretation of. So I'm going to choose a card. So who's number 34, Richard? Because I got that number in my head. 34. Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Oops. Aha. So, okay, Jamie, I'm going to give you a card reading, and the word that I've got for you.
Yeah.
Okay. The word I'm going to give you is patience. Okay, so this is for Jamie Zahan from Facebook, and the comment she's saying is, "I'm Jamie." So hello, Jamie. This is patience for you, and I am feeling a little bit of emotion as I'm thinking with this, but I just feel that patience is required at the moment, and I'm also sensing that there is a lady that is also with me as well. And I feel that this lady is your grandmother, Jamie. And she steps forward because I just feel that she was always here for you when she was on Earth. And again, I feel that we're getting very eloquent ladies and gentlemen speaking to us from the spirit world. And I just feel she had this calmness and this strength within her. And she knows that things are not moving as fast as you would like them to. And as this card says, but patience, and I just feel that something she would have said is patience is a virtue. And sometimes we can't always go at 100 miles an hour. We need to take stock. We need to wait. We need to just let things settle. And I feel this is me working on a psychic link now. She's still here, but I'm just going to talk on a psychic link because I just feel that things have just been going a little bit crazy pace for you at the moment, or you want things to happen. And your grandmother's just stepped forward and she said you've always been impatient. when you were a child. So I hope this is making sense to you. I also feel that you have to trust that spirit are there for you, but you've also got people around you. And your grandmother's saying, don't push people away, Jamie. It's like you've been pushing people away, or you only want to listen to what what you feel is right at the moment. But I do feel that people are around you and they're trying to guide you, they're trying to help you. So your grandmother wants you just to listen a little bit more. She knows that you're upset. She knows that your heart hurts and it's very heavy at the moment. But she has been listening, and I just feel that she was around you very much when you were young. And she's just giving me a memory here of, I feel it was her that used to sort of always tuck you in at night. And I've just got a sense that she used to read to you as well. So if you can just verify that this is making sense to you, then please do. Don't look at the negative. You know, Nick and I were talking at the beginning of the show about negatives and positives. And I just feel that you've been focusing a little bit too much on the negative side of things. And that's what's in your head at the moment. But I just feel you've got to think about what is good in your life. And I know sometimes you say nothing's good, it's all, but there's always a light, there's always a chink of light somewhere. And I just feel that you've got to find that chink of light. Think about you as a person. Think about the qualities that you have. Think about the things that you've done in your life, because I do feel that you've helped people. And I know that you feel at the moment that people are not there for you. And I feel that life has been a little bit one-sided. I do lots for others, but they're not there for me. And sometimes it's because people think that you are a coper and that you don't need the help. But sometimes it's the strength within us that has to ask for that help. So find that strength to ask people when you need some time, when you need someone to listen to. And it's wonderful that you've come on here. And I don't know if this is your first time today, but it's wonderful that you've come on here, because we do have a sense of community within SPTV. So it's good that you can just come on, you can listen. You're getting nothing, Richard. No response. Okay. Well, Jamie, I don't know if you're still on here, and maybe if you can watch this on playback, or somebody can reach out and say, watch this on playback. And I hope that this makes sense to you. But patience is the word for you today, and patience is a virtue. And I just want to bring through your grandmother's love. But we're not getting any feedback from you, so I'm going to leave it there with you. Okay, thank you.
God bless you. And well done, Karen. Lovely. Yes. You know, when the more you work with a medium, the more you kind of hook into the way they're working and get those reflections of what's being said. And I absolutely, you know, absolutely second that emotional connection there that you were experiencing. So well done, mate, and bless you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Mandy, we have seen your post, and you know we will do what we can, but you don't need to keep copying and pasting it, because that will cause you to just comment, join in the conversation, keep it part of the conversation. But Facebook has this way of, if you do copy paste, it will accidentally block your account. So just be careful with that, because we don't want you to get blocked just as we're about to connect, because that has happened in the past. So, you know, different comments, different words, have a conversation, keep in the conversation. That way we can know that you're still there, so that should someone, because to an extent you'd agree, Karen, wouldn't you? We're not entirely in charge of who comes through or who we go to.
Do you know what I was just thinking the same thing there, because my mind went back to the first time I went to a church, and I'd go in, week out, and everybody in the church would get a message. And my friend said to me, "You got anybody that's passed over in the spiritual world?" And
Yeah.
I said, "Yes, I have." And it was like
And
everybody was getting a message around me, and I never did. But we're going back to that card patience,
yeah,
because sometimes you can learn a lot from not just the messages from your loved ones, but listening to other people's messages, and also what's said in the chat, what's said on the show
yeah,
as well.
definitely.
That can
And
also be a message too.
absolutely, and you're very welcome, Mandy. We didn't want you to get, blocked by accident just through sheer joy and eagerness, but definitely keep posting, joining the conversation. That way, we'll know you're still there. And the thing is, when it comes to Karen, she picks a random number. If you're engaging in conversation, you'll be in the list. So we don't like people being accidentally blocked. And again, it comes back to that word we were using, algorithms. Absolutely.
Funny word, that. It's a funny word, algorithm.
I'm sure the technically minded and well-educated gentleman in our ear will probably have some inkling of where it comes from and why that word
Yes.
was chosen. But apparently, oh, um, but it would take too long to explain to us mere mortals. So I'll do my usual and have a listen to him explain it to me, and then boil it down into something really common without tease. Um, 'cause I mean,
You
right
see, the
now,
thing is,
sorry, Don.
the thing is, Richard and Nick normally have to explain in layman's terms or very simple terms all the technology stuff to me, because I have not got a clue. So they have to break it down so that I understand it. It's like explaining technology to a 3-year-old. In fact, maybe 3-year-olds understand it better than I do. So there you go.
Absolutely. And Mandy, you're absolutely right. I like
Yeah.
to listen to the readings.
Yeah.
There is so much in that, and as well for me, I was always taught that the philosophy in a service is actually Spirit's message for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, in simple terms, for people like me, an algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations, especially by a computer. Um,
Ah,
and a process and calculation would be where the rhythm part comes from. I can't remember what the root for algo would be, but obviously rhythm is the process.
yes, the process. Yeah.
So we'll
And
find out.
the rhythm, what we do, because we have a rhythm of the things that we look at, the things that we're drawn to. So that's the rhythm of life.
Absolutely. And now I'm sitting here thinking about the difference between logarithms and algorithms, and I'm confusing myself. So I think I need a little bit of healing. Nice little segue there. For now, we are going to enter our healing section before we continue with more readings afterwards. But everybody, just like messages, is in need of a bit of a healing. So now is the time when we are going to grab the distant healing book and prepare myself, because we've got into this little routine now that a certain person reads them out and I sit and write them because I'm the one with the pen in the book. We will not miss anybody, because after today's show, I will go back and double check. But if you would like to send your absent healing to anyone, now is the time to start writing their names in the comments. I will enter them into the healing book. But of course, the wonderful Richard in the background has a process or set of rules calculated that show a video. And so for my turn today, roll 'em, Richard. And so I don my pen and we are ready. Please enter your names for those that are in need of healing, and we will add them to the healing book. And I am going to start off, actually, again, as I always do, with Reverend Tony, because he still has no voice.
Oh, yes, he is, isn't he? Bless him. Yes. And may I also add Maggie and family, and Eve and Ken. And Courtney Lopez would like healing to be sent to Uncle Gary.
Uncle Gary.
And Tony Coppins would like some healing to herself. And also healing for Carrie Greathouse. What's wonderful, Nick, is you didn't have to say, don't forget yourself. Everybody's realising that's the theme that we need to do. So Joanna would like healing to Josephine.
Yeah.
Josephine. Yeah.
They certainly know. Yeah, it's Josephine.
Terry Louise would like some healing for herself.
Of course.
Don't worry, Terry, it's on the way. Pat Jackson would like healing for Brian in spirit. Cheryl would like to send healing for Talia, Gillian, Cecilia, Paul, and herself. Lynn Palmer would like some healing for herself. And also for Mandy Channing David, she would like some healing. Stephanie Ann would like healing for her sister Mandy. Leslie Lang would like healing for her brother Stephen and my husband Stephen, so 2 Stephens. Carolyn Jane Brooke would like healing for her brother Brian in spirit. Carrie Greathouse would like healing for her daughter Tegan. Stephanie Ann would like healing for herself. Wow. Dave B would like healing for Mark. Helen Smith sends healing for her partner's sister Julie. Oh, that's a lovely one, Kelly. Kelly Rockett would like to say, I'd like to send healing to those who are afraid to ask. That's lovely. That's a lovely thought. Leslie Lang would also like healing for herself and her granddaughter, as she has cystic fibrosis. Joanna would like healing for Jessie Evans. And Mandy would like healing for her niece, Karen. Hazel would like healing for herself and her mum.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you. And just know that that healing will go out to where it's needed. And if there's anybody else that needs healing that didn't get mentioned, just know that it will go to everybody that's afraid to ask for it.
Absolutely.
The spirit will know where healing is needed at that time. And also, as Nick said, he'll go through the list and add some more names to the book. So
as I am doing right now with Elaine.
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
You know, Kelly's comment actually reminded me of the healing prayer that's printed on the inside of the book. This prayer is a combination of of the healing prayer I was given by my mentor, Lynn, and something that Spirit added just as the pandemic was starting. Great Spirit, divine universal source of all creation. Here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask for both those we know, those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. And
Beautiful.
you know, that additional bit, those who have no one to ask for them, we're asking. And what Kelly said was absolutely a reminder of that. Healing is at the core of everything we do. It really, really is. And you know, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. You know, there's a bit in there about the silent minute that we do at 9:30 every night. There's the unity prayer in there, but most importantly, there's the names of people in need in there, and this is never more than 6 feet away from me. I take it with me when I go out. It's always in the car. I've got a case in the car that I keep it in. This is always on my desk when I'm up here working. It's always to hand. I was once had the Mickey took out of me when talking about healing, and it kind of like was backfired and apologized about. Again, Lynn, first time I ever chaired a service, so we're talking about 25 years ago now. Lynn, because we didn't have the internet and everything, it was a case of telephone numbers and addresses, like you were talking about earlier with the Estelle Roberts story. And we would always say as part of the service, and it's kept during the week at so-and-so Victoria Street, Littleport, if you wish to enter names during the week. I didn't word it like that. I worded it as, and so during the week, if you have an emergency, you can contact Lynn at so-and-so. And she gave a bit of a giggle about that. But the following week, she apologized for giggling, because during the week, she did have a phone call from a family member who was having an emergency. And those words rang in her head. And she grabbed the healing book and wrote the name down in the book. And she said, so although I took the Michael out of you, Nick, I apologize, because it was absolutely spirit driven. And this is the thing. Sometimes we say things that are a bit random that are absolutely spirit driven. So I will say it's much easier these days to say this now. If you have an emergency during the week at Rev Nick Brown, send me a message.
Oh, that's lovely. Sandy has just said, such a small gesture, however, means so much.
Yes.
And it is the small things in life. And I think when you're new to spiritualism, when you've gone to a church and you see a book and you can physically write that person's name down, it's that tangible thing. You feel that you've done something, don't you? You feel that that name will be seen by spirit, heard by spirit. And I think the healing time on here in Zoom services and in physical church services is so important. And healing has gone a little bit down the pecking order in some way, but it's never gone down the pecking order in my book, because
absolutely
all mediumship is healing. But the healers out there that serve churches, that give of their time, it's so important, because also you have to listen. Sometimes healing can be just listening too. And that's
I want to share a comment that was made to me once, and I'm going to keep it very discreet and informal. But how I managed to keep calm and quiet, I do not know. I had someone applying for the ministry course within the ISA, and they were aware of someone else being on that course and said to me, how can they be doing the ministry course? They are only a healer.
Oh, oh,
Regardless to say that person's not doing it, but the healer is ordained. We have an advisory council of ministers, and one of them has said, "I will always be a healer. I will only be a healer. I'm not interested in the mediumship side. I want to serve by healing.
exactly.
All service is healing." And especially the literal application of that is God given and great. And so, if anyone ever uses the word only a healer in front of me, they see a different side of me. Everything is healing, as you just said. The messages that we provide, when we provide upliftment and love and compassion, that's healing to the person receiving that message. And so, I will not verbally and publicly express how frustrated I was. But the fact that I'm not dropping my T's may be an indicator. Healing is absolutely the core of everything we do. And if anything should be put on a pedestal, it's healers. They are, as that gentleman came through earlier, the ones who work in the background, getting it done while everyone else takes the credit. And on that note, I think it's my turn to give a message, is it? I've always loved that phrase, the ones doing all the work while everyone else takes the credit. It's a little bit harsh in some quarters, but it's very much the feeling of people who just get on and do stuff. Sometimes they feel like they're the ones in the background while everyone else is taking the credit. There you are. And I did wonder. It's a man's day today. I have got a gentleman coming forward. There's something. You've tried to come through earlier. I recognize you now. I've got to take off my yes, Louise Maru, humbleness, exactly.
Yes.
This feels right to the bone. I've got this feeling in my face with this gentleman, and it feels like in my cheekbone, my back teeth up here. It feels like a cross between a toothache and a knock. So I don't know whether there was an injury or a sensation there that this gentleman would have felt. I am feeling on a fatherly vibration with this gentleman. That's the third time I've heard that name, so I am going to share it. I do have to throw in the name David as a connection with this gentleman. I feel fatherly, I feel brotherly, I feel husbandly. But the thing that I was most proudest of was being a father. Again, that sensation will still be there until he's taken, so I better hurry up and find his home so it can go away. Oh, was it? Okay. Would you understand this bit here? Yeah, no. Um, sure. Yeah. Which is that side? Uh, well, I've got yourself and a couple of other people, so I'll get some more information. Um,
Yeah, and Leslie Lang has said us falling and banging.
right. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. Thank you. I do know that this gentleman would have been taking a lot of pills throughout his later years. He considers them candy. He says they weren't proper pills though. he's looking. Says they're like they weren't proper medic. They were ones that you could buy over the counter, and I just took them because someone told me to, as advice and guidance and support. But they really didn't do. Right, this gentleman would have also suffered from some kind of brain condition. I don't call it. It is exactly what it is. It's a condition of the brain. This gentleman would have had some kind of stroke or would have had some kind of brain condition, because I just suddenly realized that it was like I'd paused, and he would have done this as well. It's almost like he would have been talking and then just stopped because he was either distracted by the pain or just distracted full stop. I also, again, I'm feeling all cold down one side. So yes, thank you. There would have been some kind of stroke with this gentleman. Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, I need something to narrow you down, mate, please. Stephen. There is a Stephen that connects with this person as well. I've seen your face a lot today. Oh, it's see, I see faces. I don't look at names. Sarah, would you understand what I just said? And Karen, did you hear what I just said? Because I can't remember it. This is one of those weird ones. Stephen, that's it.
Stephen.
Um,
Now,
and
remember that one.
I feel. Would you understand this as oh, and would you also understand that towards the end he really did struggle with talking? And he would have really, really, really struggled. Stephen, is your brother living? Thank you, everyone, for calling out. He did draw me to Sarah's face. So thank you all for calling out. But I don't want you all sitting there waiting on something and never getting that absolute confirmation. He drew me to he's taking the mick out of your glasses as if to say I had some like that. And he's giggling away. So I do know the sense of humor is coming back. I just had to get the identification of who I'm with, because his physical condition was quite overcoming. And you would understand this, Sarah, that his speech started to go here. And if he got frustrated and if he couldn't feel like he was making sense of himself, he would get even more frustrated and just whirl into this spiral. So again, thank you everyone for calling out. But he's guided me to Sarah, because it's that homeopathic pills, that's the clincher. And his cancer affected his brain. Thank you. So thank you for that. And Stephen is your. So we've got that. But again, there are a lot of mediums who say this. I see the reason why. If you could take some kind of connection with that, do, because they are with you, not with me. I have got one of these people that you thought it might be with me. But the reason you're thinking about those particular people is because they are with you, not with me. So reach out your hand and they will reach out theirs. Sarah, this gentleman was deeply spiritual, because I wouldn't normally go off on one like that. But as he's starting to relax more, and I'm not feeling that physical condition being so overcoming, there was such a great spirituality, because he didn't want anybody left behind. He always wanted to make sure everyone was helped. And I know as he guided me to do that, that's the kind of thing. he wanted to make spirituality more physical, more real, more understanding. And I know that he's the kind of bloke that would want to get in on the conversation, because I can feel myself getting in trouble for Richard to keep moving and getting closer to the screen, so I'm getting a big head in the screen. But he wants to just jump right in, and have that conversation. And I'm always pushing your glasses the same way he did. Thank you. There was the frustration towards the end was phenomenal. Yeah, I have never, ever, ever felt so out of control of my frustration as I did with this gentleman. I was in control. I was allowing him to do it. But from his perspective, I have never felt someone feel quite like that before. The fact that he continued to function is a testament to his strength and the support he received from you. And I suddenly feel like I've gone all newsreaderly. Oh, he was skeptical until he found the American John Edwards. Ah, yes, yes, yes. A lot of good things that man has got to answer for, John Edwards. I feel suddenly very newsreader-like, and my arms are now down beside me, and I've got my hands, like that, and I've got it on the desk in front of me like that, and I'm now feeling much more in control of myself. Thank you very much. And also, when he got on one and got excited, he wouldn't even take a breath, because at the moment I feel like I'm not taking a breath, because he's just got so much that he wants to say and can't let up, and wants to get everything in as much as possible. And so this excited understanding, and you mentioned John Edwards as what kick-started that. So I know that he would have been absolutely blown away. And it's like, well, there's no, and this was his mind. This was his mind. It's like, oh, there's no way he can be doing that. Well, he must know. He must have seen this. He must have done. No, there's no way that will work. And his analytical brain was just so amazing. And that's why he got so frustrated towards the end of his life. But I'm me now. And funny. He says, now I can be the algorithm of spirit, and my analytical mind is back, baby. And he had, I wasn't going to throw in the baby, but he threw in the baby. He's coming through just to let you know that he is absolutely in awe of your strength, because you're demonstrating a lot of strength at the moment too. He's talking about how he was and how he felt, and how he, had to fight for every ounce of physical control. It's with you, that's the emotional side of it, and he's just grabbing you by the side of the face. He's grabbing you by the cheeks. He's saying, come on, you've got this. And a quick kiss on the forehead, and go for it. You have got this. And if you suddenly feel your mind start racing, yes, I can well imagine. To that comment, yes, I certainly can imagine. When you suddenly feel your mind start racing and all these ideas bang, 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 that's him coming in to help you. Because the sooner if you think really quickly, then you can get through that constant repetition of going round and round in circles with your thoughts. Hopefully, it will spin fast enough to get you off and back onto the grass, he says, because you do overthink, and that's half your problem, he says. But I've told you that before. I've told you that from here, and I've told you that from when I was down there as well. You tend to overthink things, darling. I am fine. Newsreader position. I am fine. I am here. You are amazing. Do take his, thank you. I wondered what that was. Peonies and crocuses he's wanting to give as a memory link and as a parting gesture. Also, I've got to tell you, he will be with you on Saturday, whatever it is that you're up to. He just said, I'll be there Saturday. So I'll leave his love with you, which is even more tremendous and even more overflowing than the strength that this man had. God bless you, Sarah.
Oh, that was lovely, Nick. Really, really lovely. You're very animated today. I love it.
He in particular was, yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Oh,
Love it.
wow.
Okay. I'm I'm gonna. Can I squeeze a quick? Is Courtney still on, Richard? Is Courtney Lopez still on? Is she still on?
Are you there, Courtney Lopez?
Are you there, Courtney Lopez?
Calling Courtney Lopez.
As I turned
Uh,
as I
listening.
turned these cards over, Courtney came into my mind. So, and I knew she was on earlier, so I hope she's still there. Um, right, okay, okay, right. I'm just going to carry on with the reading here. Um, the two card the two cards I turned over are inspiration and positive outcome. So I just feel this that Courtney, if you're here, I do feel this is for you, but I'm also going to give this as a group reading today, a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of something for all of you that you can take. Your own inspiration is unique to you, and I believe I'm a great believer in finding out who you are, trusting your instincts, and if you have some inspirations that you want to get out there, get them out there. If you've been inspired to create something, if you've been inspired to do something, if you've always wanted to have creativity in your life, then try and do it and find it. And sometimes what happens is with the positive outcomes is we sometimes are more afraid of the positive outcomes than we are of the negative outcomes because we don't trust ourselves. We don't think that we can do it. But when we do, we think, well, now what do I do? How did that work? And we sometimes are a little bit afraid. And we should never discount that wonderful imagination that we have, that wonderful spark within us. And we can do so many more things than we give ourselves credit to do. And I just feel that we we're always creating, we're always thinking, we're always doing. So turn those wonderful creative thoughts into something positive within your life. Maybe it could be just a simple change, changing your lifestyle, creating something amazing. If you think about all the wonderful inventors and creators that are out there, take the internet, take the post-it note, take the highlighter pen, take anything that has been creative that is used every single day. Never put yourself in a box. Write down your inspiration, journal things, think about things, push yourself, even go and, maybe do some more study. If someone says, oh, if somebody said to you, you'll never make anything of yourself, you'll always be in that box, break that box down and push yourself. You have moved on and evolved so much since you were at school where somebody told you you couldn't do it or you shouldn't do it. I can
Yeah.
and I will. That's the message for your own inspiration. I can and I will. And that inspiration, we all have it. We all have that creativity in any shape or form. Cooking, painting, building things. There's lots of creative things out there that we can all do. So find your own inspiration within and look at it in a positive way. And if you look at it in a positive way, positive things happen and there will be a positive outcome. So that's my message to you all from the cards
Brilliant.
today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it really does tie a beautiful bow and loops us very much round to the very beginning of what we were talking about in terms of theme and concept. When it comes to those algorithms, turn
Yes.
it around, turn it around. So immerse yourself in singing bunnies and shirtless men dancing in the rain and
Cute dogs.
and the dogs sniffing the camera. I do love it when the dogs come up and sniff the camera. But do all the things that make you smile. Do all the things
And
that make you laugh.
turn social media into a positive place to be. Don't let the negativity win. Turn it into research on it. Put all those positive thoughts out there, thoughts for the day. You're, you, if you've got a spiritual business or something out there, get that out onto social media so that people can find it, and then they in turn can turn their lives around. You know,
Yes.
don't let all the negativity. We get enough of it on the mainstream news as it is. So let's just turn things around and do things in a more positive, spiritual way, and have the message that spirits say that it's all about the living, it's all about growing. And when that spirit's been awakened, then it makes you look at things. It's like the the blinkers have been taken off and you can see things more clearly. Like that song, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. Because sometimes we do feel that we're sort of like walking through the rain or things are not clear. When you
Yeah.
get that clarity of thoughts and you know there's more to life, then you also know there's more to your life.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you know, when I used to listen to that song many, many years ago, I always used to feel sorry for anyone called Lorraine. And then somebody told me it was actually the rain.
The rain. Yeah,
I can
I
see
know.
clearly now Lorraine is gone. So
Yeah.
yes, I used to get in trouble for that. But no, you're absolutely right, Karen. And I think that is a perfect, uplifting, and very spiritual way to end our time together today. Because the time has come to say goodnight, for every road must end. But we'll always keep you in our hearts, our special SPTV friends.
Oh, I like that.
Um,
That can be our little finish on our Let Loose.
yeah,
I love that.
absolutely. This has been Nick Brown and Karen Wood, loose on a Wednesday. We hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful time.
Absolutely.
We have, of course, Wednesday Psychic Night tonight. So what time is that, Richard? So join us at 8 o'clock for the Psychic Night. It's with Kaomi, and it's going to be amazing. Do stay tuned, of course, for more about the ever evolving march towards TikTok.
March towards TikTok, yeah.
Because we're in the gates now, of course. Now
We're banging on the door.
We just got to set up the camp now. But yes,
1,000.
thank you to the one who's joined us today during the show, because it's now 1001. But thank you all for
We've
being
got 1,001 followers, not 1,000, not 1,000. No, that was 101 Dalmatians, wasn't it? I'm thinking of the.
Yeah, gonna say that's a few more cans of dog food.
Yes,
If it was Dalmatians, we'd be right up the creek without a paddle. But thank you again, Karen, for putting up with my machinations. Thank you to Richard for putting up with the lack of teas. And thank you all for having me. And it's been a pleasure, Karen.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, SPTV family, and thank you, Nick. I love working with you on Mondays and every other Wednesdays. It makes my week and it really cheers me up. Love being connected with you all. It really does. So thank you. And we'll be back on Monday with the competition winner for the person that is chosen from our followers on TikTok. So, come on, because it might be you. You never know.
It could be you.
It could be you.
And of course, the point is, you then get to pick whoever gives you the reading. So exciting times. But again, stay tuned for tonight at 8 o'clock for the Psychic Night. We'll be back on Wednesday. No, we won't. We'll be back on Monday at 10:30. Back at 10:30. But enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go and take my teeth out and re-iron them. And we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye bye, everybody.